Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Speed Dash Series presented by Ryan Newman and Associates. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Joe. I am Bob, and tonight's race is going to be a ton of fun. It's the Speed Dash Series, like I had mentioned, here at Southern National Motorsports Park. This is a fun, short racetrack, just over a quarter mile in length. So we're going to see a lot of race cars on top of each other all night long. It's just going to be a good time.
Super excited. Tiny tracks are such fun, especially with these little cars.
That is for sure. A few things we're going to look for tonight for the race is you're going to use the bumper, but when do you do it? Do you dive into the corner? Do you try to push someone up out of the groove? We are definitely going to see, as the cars are already out there on the track right now in for our qualifying session. So far, Ethan Amberg fastest on the board with a 16.31, and a bunch of other cars currently coming in fast. So we'll let the our scoring bug sit there and try to update itself. Even Ethan Amberg right now. There's Steven Gibson. He is going to go top of the board. Ethan Amberg second. Chris Darling and Sidarius Deus in third and fourth. Stan Hausman, there's Greg back. He's going to move his way up into the number 4 spot for the number 4 car. As more laps are coming through, Steven Gibson's going to pull this one over. Ethan Amberg getting some practice in. And a fun bit for tonight's race that is a little bit different than most other oval racers that you're used to seeing is we're seeing heat races for tonight. And, well, Joe, that is going to throw a little extra wrench in the works for these drivers.
Yeah, how is that working?
So... So the way these heat races are going to work is only 24 cars are going to be making it to the main event tonight. And after qualifying, we're going to split the field into 2 groups. The one half of the group will be racing in heat number 1. The second half of the group will be racing in heat number 2. We take the top 12 drivers of both of those races, and congrats, they've made it into the show. That being said, it looks like there's less than 24 drivers racing tonight, so no harm, no foul. Everyone is going to make it in. We're just getting a little extra bonus racing out on the track tonight, which is always a plus here for the Speed Dash Series. So as we see there, Matthew Karakoff putting it in P6. Philip Scott out on track. Or Philip Scott was out on track. Mark McFadden, the only car right now on the racing surface. Currently P18. Tonight's race is brought to you by our friends at Ryan Newman and Associates. Powered by Remax Select, they believe that finding your dream home should be an exciting and seamless experience, and he's serving all of Michigan. Their dedicated team brings years of expertise and a commitment to personalized professional service that makes buying or selling a home simple and stress-free. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a seasoned investor, or you're just looking anywhere in the U.S., they can help by referring you to top professionals across the country. You can trust Ryan Newman and Associates to guide you every step of the way. Your future starts here. Let's make it a reality. You can check him out at RyanNewmanSells.com. Speaking of Ryan Newman, he is currently in the 17th position. And I think the best part about qualifying here is... well, it's the fact that everyone's pretty much right on top of each other. Only 0.4 of a second separating Steven Gibson on pole and the 18th place driver, Mark McFadden. McFadden, the only driver out on track right now.
Beautiful paint.
Oh, yeah. I love these little mini stocks. They just they pack a punch. They'll take a few hard licks, but at the end of the day, they're still going to sit there. They're going to do as much as they can to put on a great show, and they always do.
Yeah, we could definitely attest for their whatchamacallit, their, God, I can't even think of the word.
Durability?
Tenacity? Yeah, durability. they got dinged up real hard last week, and they just kept going.
That is for sure. And right now, we're going to get ourselves ready to go here for heat number 1, as plenty of drivers getting themselves out on the racetrack. Pretty much the entire outside line is joining in right now. But we've got Steven Gibson, Ethan Amberg, Philip Scott, Martin Plute, Chris Darling there as well, Matthew Karakoff, Greg Baxadarius Deus, Timothy Hammond, Jason Shu, and a whole host of cars. It looks like actually this might be the whole field out there in this heat race. As Martin Plute in the chat sending the "you got this" emojis or emotes. As the field giving us a nice little engine 4-cylinder serenade. So a couple of pace laps here to get us started. Our cameras tonight brought to you by our friends at Track Cams for Gourmet, trackcams22.com. These are some great camera angles. Just recently got their updated short track and oval packages, and yeah, you can definitely tell the difference there.
Yeah, they just have fantastic cameras.
So the pace car getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. The field in the hands of Steven Gibson. At a turn number 4, green flag in the air, and we're racing here at Southern National Motorsports Park. Gibson gets away cleanly. Meanwhile, the back of the pack is just a hornet's nest as they're 2 and 3 wide, bouncing off of one another. There's Tim Branson there as well. Chris Darling there at the center of your screen in that black and green race wrap guy skyline. Love to see the R34 out there. Couple of cars a little bit further back. Couple of bits of contact there. There's Nicholas Cody in the number 5 Red Bull car. And oh, Branson gets sideways. He's going to go around. But we'll stay green. Like we mentioned, these cars are quite durable. That's a bunch of damage on that front end, but he's going to be okay to roll.
Amazing.
Meanwhile, out front, not much of a change is made. Steven Gibson, your leader over Ethan Amberg. Looks like Ryan Newman might have headed down pit road. No, just the way he was entering the corner, our timing and scoring assumed he was going to be pitting. Great looking shots here as these cars driving off through the corners. Only 10 laps to go. With this being a heat race, everyone's just kind of out there for themselves, just trying to feel out the car, little mini practice sessions, if you will. As we jump on board here with the 14 of Ethan Amberg. You may say, oh, they're not really going that fast. They're going about highway speed. Don't forget, this track is only 0.35 of a mile.
Which is so tiny.
And you could just see how high banked those corners are as well. With the gyroscope on this camera. And, oh, big slide. Amber got a little crossed up there. And, oh, looks like some trouble. Colton Easterday had an issue. Let's see what happened to the 95. Yeah, just got a little sideways, and he's going to jump down to the pits. But definitely no better time to have that issue than now. Just because it's the heat race, not going to affect too much. You may get a worse starting position, but that's honestly about it. Amberg and Plute battling this one out. Plute right onto the back bumper of Amberg. How about that for close racing?
A little close.
When we say he's all over the back bumper, that's exactly what we mean. Right there, Gibson in his mirror just saying, all right, guys, you guys fight. I'll check out. Gibson is starting to come up on lap traffic, but there's 2 laps to go. I don't think Branson's going to give him too much of an issue here. As out of turn number 4, white flag in the air one more time around as Martin Plute tries to take a look to the inside. Can't quite get to Amberg. He's got one more opportunity here. He's going to try to go high, slides up. Might have made a little bit of contact, but he's not going to do it. He's out of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air. Steven Gibson is going to win the heat race here at the Ryan Newman Dash. So I think the drivers definitely learned something here with this one. Just trying to figure out how the car is going to handle, how hard can you enter the corner, can you leave the corner comfortably? But we shall certainly see. So we have a 2-minute warm-up period now. Since there were less than 24 cars entered, we skip the second heat, and we sit here and get everyone ready to go for the race. It's a 2-minute warm-up. Likely just to get, everyone to take a little break, relax a little bit. And then everyone gets out and ready to run.
God, these camera packs are just so good.
Always fun to see these great shots, and I just love being able to see every angle of the racetrack, whether it's up high, down low. We got some special drone cameras that we're going to launch here for the race as well.
Yeah, it also goes to show you how tiny that track is. That one corner camera kind of catches the entire race.
Right? Yeah, that one camera, you could just sit there and watch the entire race. You could see everything. Always a bunch of fun there. As here is the 15 of Ryan Newman, and that Ryan Newman and Associates machine, powered by Remax Select. Some classic colors on that Remax blimp. Remember back in the day when Remax was the sponsor of the ARCA series.
Oh, man.
Some good times
Remember
there for
blimps?
sure. Say that again?
You remember blimps?
Hey, I think the Goodyear blimp is celebrating its, 100th year now this year?
Yeah, I think it still pops up every now and again. It's I think it's in Jersey, so I see it every now and again, or at least one of them.
Yeah, it's been at, I think, every Cup Series race this year so far.
Really?
So, that's one thing we got going for us. But let's take a quick look here at the starting lineup for tonight's race. It's the Ryan Newman and Associates Dash here at Southern National Motorsports Park. Steven Gibson on the pole. We're going to line him up exactly how we finished the heat. So Gibson on the pole, Ethan Amberg comes home P2. Martin Plute in third, Chris Darling starts in fourth. Row number 3, we've got Philip Scott and Matthew Karakoff in sixth. Row number 4, Greg Back and Nicholas Cody. Sidarius Deus and Tim Hammond come home in row number 5. Stan Hausman, Corey Hutchinson in row number 6. Row number 7 has Jason Shue and Brian Tope. Ryan Newman and Mark McFadden in row number 8. Row number 9 has Dave Harrington and Tim Branson. Colton Easterday and Zach Williams round out our 20-car field for this evening. And Joe, we saw a little glimpse of what we can expect here tonight as the field gets ready to roll off.
Yeah.
Just think, little bit longer of a race, plus yellows involved as well. This should make for some very exciting racing.
Always, especially with this league.
70 laps out there on the track as the field is getting themselves warmed up and ready to run. And the next time through, we are going to see some green flag action as you see your starting lineup rolling across the screen. Let us know in the chat who you're rooting for tonight, who you think is going to get the win. While you're doing that, make sure you subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Getting close to 100 subs. But as I say that, the pace car pulls off, green flag in the air, and we're racing here at Southern National Motorsports Park. It's the Ryan Newman and Associates dash. Stephen Gibson gets a great jump down the down the back straightaway. Martin Plute is going to slide in front of Chris Darling. They're side by side a little bit further back. Greg Back, as well as Nicholas Cody in their back now, setting his sights on Matthew Karakoff. More side-by-side action. Timothy Hammond is there. Jason Shue and company a little bit further back. Tim Branson takes a peek to the inside of the 7 of Brian Tope. Colton Easterday back there as well. But plenty of racing is... Oh, a little contact there on Branson. Branson's going to get close to the wall, but he's going to fall back now into P20. Meanwhile, out front, good battle brewing here as Martin Plute still trying to get past Ethan Amberg. Amberg opens the door slightly into turn number 3 to give a better drive out of the corner, and that's going to let Plute catch up. And now Plute's sitting there saying, all right, I think I know the plan now. So we'll see if we can get that number 81 Celica just to peek a little bit there to the inside.
I love that car.
It's so good. As trouble, looks like Greg Back has an issue. Here is Back in the number 4 machine. Little contact there. And another bit of contact from the 16. But all is well and we're back racing. Side-by-side fight now for P number 2. Here's Martin Plute to the inside. Plute and Amberg try to duel this one out through 3 and 4. No one able to give an inch. As Plute is going to make the pass. Are we going to see a little crossover move here? No, Amberg stays strong on the bumper. Here comes Chris Darling, however. And can Darling make a move?
Where do you think the best passing is for this track?
I feel like the easiest way to do it is just kind of use your bumper heading off into the corner. But I think if you get a decent enough entry, and like we hear drivers say all the time, slow in, fast out, if you kind of back up your corner entry, you might be able to get a better drive out of the corner, if not side by side, and then position yourself for the next corner. So that pass may take a few laps to get it done, but it's certainly doable as we see the 14 of Amberg holding off Chris Darling for now.
Nope.
Sally Hammond in the chat saying one and only Canuck Mark McFadden in the 22 machine, 76 years young, racing out there. Some great racing all over the racetrack. Meanwhile, out front, Stephen Gibson has opened up just about a second lead. Now the leaders are coming up to lap traffic. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. Is that Stan Hausman? He's off the pace. Not sure what happened to him. But Hausman, I'm sure, sitting there saying, man, I could really use a yellow flag right now. I've had enough of the broadcaster's curse yesterday. This is my time to shake the curse.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I do have to say, I love hearing these cars. There's just something about the angry lawnmower sounds. It just sounds so good. Some fantastic camera angles here, as we're already 20 laps into this.
Such a fast-moving.
Yeah, fast-moving race. Lap time as well as cars. And it is fairly windy out there, 16-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, these cars are, what did we say, 1,500 pounds?
Yeah, they're very lightweight. Because they're based off of the old school Mustangs.
Right. Oh. Oh.
And trouble.
Oh.
Big crash.
Oh.
Colton Easterday, Mark McFadden go around. We have our first yellow. There's Easterday on the top side. McFadden takes a peek to the inside. Oh, looked like McFadden might have caught the apron just a little bit. That sent them around. And the 77 just kind of pushed in. The 84 there as well. So we'll re-rack and get our first yellow of the night here. 25 laps into the feature.
I wonder, we still have not correctly figured out the pits and how long these cars could go, but I wonder if we're going to see a lot of pitting now just to get a new set of tires.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. It looks like everyone's going to be staying out for the most part. As looks like a couple of drivers there towards the back of the pack are heading down pit road. That's Jason Shue in the number 3 machine. And the very cool looking Chevy Cavalier. With a flamethrower there on the right-hand side. I will say there's something very special about these 4-cylinder cars because they will run well anywhere, whether it's road course races, whether it's super speedways like Daytona, Talladega, short tracks, dirt racing as well. They're just such a versatile car and a ton of fun. We're going to see some dirt racing a little bit later on in the season here as well. But As we say that, the green flag is out and we're back racing. Steven Gibson gets the whole shot. Now we're side by side by side by side for second all the way back to 20th. Amberg slides up the track. He's going to get a little bit of a nudge from the 11 of Darling. There's Philip Scott just behind them. Philip Scott, a veteran here to the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network, races with Total Nonstop Racing League Monday nights. He's a very accomplished road and oval racer. Philip trying to take a peek to the inside of Amberg, can't quite get it done. A little bit further back, there's Hutchinson trying to make a move on Karakov. No one home quite yet. Don't forget, tonight's race is brought to you by our friends at Ryan Newman and Associates. You can check them out online as well. RyanNewmanSells.com is the website. Good battle brewing this time for fourth. Philip Scott and Ethan Amberg all over each other. Scott gets the position. Amberg about to fall back into the clutches of Nicholas Cody.
Fantastic racing out here.
And that's the thing. It's so clean to race here, because you would think coming to a short track, it's going to be a lot of guys just kind of throwing dumb moves in or just kind of driving through each other because, oh, that's what they do in NASCAR. But, I mean, this racing has been fantastic as we're just now crossing over the halfway mark.
Yeah, you know, you put these tiny tracks in with these tiny cars, and last week there was a little bit of chaos, but I think it's one of those leagues where, you know, new cars, at least to a lot of the guys on here, so you got to kind of get used to them. There's a lot to figure out. It seems like this week it's a lot different.
Yeah, definitely. I think a little more of a calm, collected attack versus, all right, first race of the year, let's go. Meanwhile, we got a little bit of pressure now on Gibson as Martin Plute trying to put some bumper to the back end of that number 97 Hooters machine. That's going to allow Chris Darling to catch up, Philip Scott as well. Gibson just kind of sitting there swatting at flies, just saying, all right, guys, come on, leave me alone, let me drive. A little bit further back in the pack, there's a nice little battle between Tim Branson and Greg Back. They're side by side. Branson has position, but Back has a little bit more momentum. Back has almost got the position, not quite yet. Now he does. Now Hutchinson and Deus fighting it out. Hutchinson able to clear. Cars all over this 0.35 mile racetrack.
It's interesting, you see a lot of passes being made in the inside.
Yeah, and typically that's kind of the way we go is, oh, trouble. Corey Hutchinson is going to go around.
Oh, no, no, no. Oh.
Let's see what happened. Oh, Martin Plute and Amberg get involved too. So here's the contact. That's going to go between Deus and the 28. 28 just stuck there. He's going to swing it around. He's stuck. Tries to back it up and, oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, just a disastrous moment there.
Yeah, it was such a small track. You know, you think you have enough time. Some cars clear, I can reverse in, but like you said, this is a 0.35 mile track. There's always a car coming.
Yeah, they're definitely always going to be there, but Lucha says, nope, I am not taking any chances. Didn't look like he took the time to fix any damage, so he should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like he hit hard. It looked like he kind of locked up. But,
and as we say that, he's heading back down. He might be getting some damage fixed now.
Yeah.
And, yep, that's exactly what he's doing.
Nope, tires?
Oh, looks like he might be taking tires this time.
Maybe he when he went around the first time, he didn't grab tires. Maybe he
Very
just
well
fueled
could
up.
have. Tonight's race, once again, is the Ryan Newman and Associates Dash, powered by Remax Select. They believe that finding your dream home should be an exciting and seamless experience. Serving all of Michigan, their dedicated team brings years of expertise and commitment to personalized, professional service that makes buying or selling a home simple and stress-free. Your future starts here. Ryan Newman can make it a reality. We're back green now. Philip Scott is your leader as a couple of drivers elected to stay out. Scott, Hammond, and Deus all stayed out. Now we see some new faces here at the front of the field. Scott trying to hold off Hammond. Here comes Amberg to the front. He's got fresh tires. And let's see what those fresh tires versus old tires are going to look like. 45 laps on the tires of the leaders. And look at that difference in speed right now. Amberg, Gibson fighting it out.
Scott's just trying to hold on.
Scott trying to make his car extra wide. As, oh, looked like Newman might have gotten a little bit of a tag towards the back, but we stay straight. As the field putting in some work now, Amberg able to get alongside Philip Scott. Amberg trying to hold off Gibson too.
I was going to say, Gibson's kind of like, all right, can you get up so I can go too? I can't pass you if you're both down here.
And Philip Scott just saying, all right, I'm going to pinch you down as much as I can, make you guys crash each other, and hopefully I can drive away. But now Amberg should clear Scott. Nicholas Cody putting his hat into the ring here as well. Scott back down to fourth. Gets a little bit of contact there with the 5 of Cody. And oh, around goes Amberg.
Ooh.
Whoa, what a save.
Oh, we do have some issues on the back end of the track, though.
Yeah, it looks like Tim Branson, Greg Back, Ryan Newman, and company. I guess I should say Ryan Newman and Associates all got into it there. Let's see what happened. There's Newman on the top side in that red and blue machine. Chris Darling there behind Branson. And oh, Branson goes up. Newman was there, and Back just, oh man, that was close from the 7 as well. Nowhere for Back to go. And everyone able to drive off with no further damage.
It's a little bit of a blessing in disguise for Scott.
Yeah, he's able to come down, get some fresh tires in, and now he's got the tire advantage. Everyone last pitted there on lap 45. Now everyone coming in on 57. So now the guys who went down to pit this time have about 12 lap fresher tires than the leaders. And we'll see if there's much of a difference this early in a run. Getting word that Philip Scott might have crashed, but I don't see... I think iRacing, or the, our... Yeah, I think our overlay is just a little bit confused there. Either letting the field go by or might have missed a gear. But as we say that, we go back green side by side, 10 laps to go. They're 3 wide there for second place. Going into turn number 1, here comes Amberg to the inside. He's got the preferred line. Able to stay off each other for the most part. So we've got action all over the racetrack. Gibson able to jump out in front. Here comes Nicholas Cody as well as Chris Darling. Darling gets a nose in underneath Cody. Side by side into turn 3. Darling throws it in. Can Cody fight back on the top side? He's holding strong so far. Some great racing here. 6 laps remaining. Gibson with the advantage. Just by 0.3. And if you remember, under qualifying, it was a 0.6 gap between first and 20th. That would be like fitting the entire field right now between Gibson and Darling.
Yeah.
Yeah, this gap you see on your screen, that's where the entire field fit under qualifying.
Yeah, not so much the case anymore.
No. Low angle shot, great looking camera angle. Trek cams for gourmets. As we're coming to 2 laps remaining here at Southern National. Darling all out of sorts. He's sideways, doing everything he can to try to catch up with the leaders. Great battles all over the racetrack, and caution.
Oh boy.
Trouble on the racetrack. Gibson saying, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Looks like the issue is here between McFadden and the 12 of Deus. Deus got to the inside. He didn't realize, or McFadden rather didn't realize Deus was there, and Hausman nowhere to go. But everyone was able to make that one out. A couple of cars get the wave around. As Hausman heads down pit road. So let's set the scene for you. Stephen Gibson started on the pole, currently running P1. Ethan Amberg started P2, currently running P2. Darling right now running in 3rd. And I think right now, if I'm Darling, I'm thinking, all right, I need to get the best restart possible. Keep the 97 and the 14 side by side. Not that you want to do it, but there is a chance you could play a little bit of 9-ball pool and hit 97 car corner pocket, get him into the 14, and you run away with the win. As we're getting ready to go overtime racing. Lights on the pace car are off. He'll pull in. Green flag in the air. We're racing. 2 laps to go. Gibson gets a good start. So does Darling. Darling on the back bumper of the 97. That's going to open up the door for Amberg. Amberg now to the inside. Gibson goes down the block. Darling's going to throw his nose down in. He makes contact with the 97. Here comes Nicholas Cody to the front. White flag. 4 wide.
Oh, boy.
16 in the wall. We're going to keep it here. Here comes Cody. Cody and Amberg. Checkered flag in the air. Who's going to get it? It's Cody at the line.
Oh, man. What a crazy finish. I got to throw out all my interview questions.
Wow. What a finish. By 4/100ths of a second, Nicholas Cody is gonna steal the win. Wow. Gibson winds up coming home in 5th. Chris Darling comes home in 9th. Amberg mostly unscathed. He comes home P2. Karakoff in 3rd. Wow. I don't even know what to say with that one.
Yeah, that wild.
So we're going to try to pull some of these drivers in for our post-race interviews. As the track falls silent, but man, what an incredible race.
Absolutely wild.
But well, Joe, you've caught up with our 3rd place finisher, driver the number 00, Matthew Karakoff.
Hey, Matthew, congratulations on the podium finish. Wild ending there. Was this the finish you were expecting? How do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't know. I was back in 5th, and I was just enjoying the show in front of me. I can't wait to go back to see what really happened. I was like y'all.
With that late caution, do you think you kind of had a better chance to kind of move up, or do you think this caution helped you out big time?
That last caution saved me so big because every caution I started on the outside, and that inside got me position and a half, and that was just enough to get me in position to get 3rd spot after the chaos.
Yeah, that was it's wild.
I can't wait to see what y'all had to say about that.
I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Yeah, well, usually I have my Skyline Roofing dash car, but I did another scheme this week. But I was one that said my dad appreciated y'all's broadcast. He loves this. He used to be a pit crew in the Goodies Dash series, so he's watching tonight, and he really appreciates y'all putting this on.
Oh, that's amazing. Well,
so thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Congrats again. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you next week.
That'd be great. Oh, it's dirt. I won't be talking to you. So y'all have a good week.
That's Matthew Karakoff, our 3rd place finisher here at the Southern National Motorsports Park. Now I'm joined by our 2nd place finisher, the guy who got one hell of a view of that last sequence of events, is Ethan Amberg. And Ethan, take us through your perspective, because that was just a wild overtime finish.
Yeah, I knew that was going to get unbelievably chaotic. I was backed out of turn 1 because I had a feeling they were both going to drive it in super deep. I was able to cross both of them back over, and I maybe should have given Steven a bigger shot into turn 3 because it just ended up bottling up, and then Chris went for that crazy move that decked Steven up the track, and from that point, Nicholas and I were just racing it out to the line, and he got me.
And, take us through earlier on in the race. It kind of felt like it was you, Steven, and Martin just kind of driving away there at the beginning of the race. A couple of cautions fell. And when that last yellow specifically came out, was that a sigh of relief or a, oh boy, here we go?
No, I was a bit disappointed because I had gotten right to Steven, like close enough to know that if he slipped up at all or felt pressured, he might give me the chance to make a move. But the yellow came out and kind of took that away from me, so I was a little disappointed.
And right now we have the replay of the action coming to the white flag there. Darling dives down onto the apron, makes contact with Steven, and at this point it's you and Cody side by side, white flag in the air. What was your thought process on this last lap? Was it just, all right, drive in deep, try to avoid anyone behind me, or just, you know, what was kind of going through your mind there?
Yeah, trying not to get run over definitely went through my mind, but I just wanted to try to keep the momentum up off the corners. I knew Nicholas was going to race me clean, so I was trying to back the corners up and make sure I could get a run on him coming off because I had trouble holding people off when they were running up high earlier in the race. So I figured, well, if I'm the one up here now coming to the checker, that might be an advantage. But I didn't get down low enough on his door and pinch him down, and he had enough momentum coming off to get me to the line.
Well, taking a look now for next week's race, it's our first dirt race of the season, and that one's going to be at Bristol Dirt. What are your thoughts there, and do you think you'll be able to finish P1 next week?
Dirt's so much fun in these things. Honestly, don't really care too much where I finish. It's just a ton of fun throwing these things sideways around corners and racing side by side with everybody here. It's a ton of fun.
Fair enough. Well, Ethan, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs. Let's hear them.
Of course, thanks to all the admins over here at Speed, Stan Hausman for making this league happen this season. It's been fun so far. You guys for putting on a great broadcast. Highline Motorsports for sticking with me for the last year or so, giving me people to work with and sponsors to work with. They're a great group of guys over there and a ton of fun to hang out with. It's going to be a good time.
Awesome. Well, Ethan, congrats on the second place finish, and looking forward to seeing you out there next week at Bristol.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, that's Ethan Amberg, our second place finisher. And now Joe's made his way down to victory lane, and he's joined by our winner tonight, Nicholas Cody.
Hey, Nicholas, congratulations on the win. Crazy finish there. After that caution, how are you feeling?
I was starting outside row 2, so I was like, maybe third. Third would be the best case scenario. And then things got really wild. Chris sent it into turn 3, and seas parted, and I ended up with the lead.
Was that the craziest race you've ever won, or craziest way to win a race?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've won a race with the leader getting DQ'd after the race once, but this is definitely the craziest win I've had with getting to the line first.
With the amount of cautions throughout the race, not that there were a ton, but there were a handful. How did your strategy kind of change throughout?
I just followed the fast guy. I was not the fastest, so I was just kind of following the leader. I was like, oh, they must know what they're doing, so I'll follow them and see what happens.
Hey, it works. I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to you guys for the broadcast. I watched back last week, and it was good. I'm sure this race is going to be a blast to watch. And shout out to Speed and Chris and everyone putting on these leagues. It's been a blast so far.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week.
Yeah, hopefully. Have a good night, guys.
All right, that's Nicholas Cody, our winner tonight here at Southern National for the Ryan Newman and Associates Dash. And wow, what an absolutely wild finish. Absolute must-see racing here. This whole race was absolutely incredible, and it came down to an overtime thriller. Joe, let's take a look here at the results for tonight's race, because that was intense, and a few drivers we didn't even know where they came from. As looks like the 11 and the 3 of Jason Shu also got into it there at the end.
Hey, look at that.
But right there. Nicholas Cody is your winner by 0.049 seconds. Less than a tenth of a second separating 1 and 2. Ethan Amberg there coming up on the short end of that stick. Matthew Karakoff comes home P3 rather. Sedaris Deus in 4th. Stephen Gibson comes home P5. Dave Harrington in 6th. Jason Shu in 7th. A good run for him. Martin Plute in 8th. Chris Darling comes home 9th. Timothy Hammond rounds out our top 10. Greg Back in 11th, 1 lap down. Mark McFadden, Philip Scott there as well. Tim Branson and Ryan Newman in 15th. Brian Tope in 16th. Colton Easterday 17th. Stan Hausman 18th. Corey Hutchinson 19th, and rounding out our 20-car field was the number 69 machine of Zach Williams. Wow. Incredible racing out there tonight. And Joe, like a couple of drivers mentioned, heading over to Bristol Dirt next week. That is going to be a ton of fun. And 70 laps, we are going to see some heat races there as well. So I am very, very excited for that one.
Oh, absolutely. The debut of a dirt track. Oh, you can't ask for anything more, especially with this league. I mean, come on. This race, it had everything.
And we are going to see a whole lot more of everything coming up next week at Bristol. Don't forget, you can tune into that one right around 9:15 Eastern next Tuesday evening. Before we head off the air, I do want to thank our friends at Ryan Newman and Associates. You can check them out online, RyanNewmanSells.com. They're powered by RE/MAX Select, and they believe that finding your dream home should be an exciting and seamless experience. Serving all of Michigan, their dedicated team brings years of expertise and commitment to personalized professional service that makes buying or selling a home simple and stress-free. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or you're just looking anywhere in the U.S., they can help by referring you to top professionals across the country. You can trust Ryan Newman and Associates to guide you every single step of the way. Your future starts here. Let's make it a reality. Ryan Newman and Associates at RyanNewmanSells.com. Well, Joe, a fun race. Looking forward to Bristol next week. It's going to be even more chaotic and even more fun and exciting, so I cannot wait.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see what these cars could do in dirt.
Well, we will certainly see, like I mentioned, next Tuesday evening. For us, tomorrow evening, it's the Tabletop Trio podcast. Right around 8 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be going live. And we have some very, very fun topics to chat about, so make sure you check us out there. You can see our full schedule of events over at tabletoptrio.com. So for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been the Speed Dash Series presented by Ryan Newman and Associates. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.